I traded in the Durango Hellcat and the Raptor for an Aston Martin Vantage, and it's not only about cars, it's about time, money, energy, focus, and building something bigger. Let's go into why I decided to trade them in versus sell, because most people would suggest that I should sell them, private party, to maximize my profits. But what I can say is, if you've ever sold a car, you know about the great amount of time and focus it takes to go through all the people to get the one that wants to buy it. So I negotiated a fairly decent deal on these, which is the low end of retail. I chose to utilize the freedom that will give me and then dedicate that time to growing my business KeySmart, my consulting business, and even this YouTube channel, versus dealing with a bunch of people that want to come look at, possibly try to test drive your cars, and then maybe don't even buy it. So that made me decide, instead of making a few thousand extra dollars, I would put that time, effort, and dedication into growing businesses and making more money, which short term can probably cover those few $1,000s, long term, greater rewards. So even though not as valuable now, I can definitely see in the future it creating a larger dollar amount, as long as I use that time wisely and don't just waste it. I know I've owned a Vantage previously, and not even that long ago. It was about 18 months, 19 months ago. I only had it for just over 3 months, and I don't feel like I got the true ownership experience due to the fact I had it such a short time. Now, I don't regret selling the other one because of the amazing deal I got on the 765, and it's been such an amazing car that there's no problems or regrets I have with getting rid of the cars I got rid of. But with this new thing I'm trying to do, this car, the Vantage, made such perfect sense to get back into, to really get to truly experience an ownership process of it for longer than that 3 months, where you're just starting to get used to the car and kind of learn its little quirks and like things that it does or doesn't do. Now we have at least a year to kind of fulfill the plans I had for the previous ones. It's going to be, like I said, for a minimum of a year, I'll get the full ownership experience. And another reason that I think this is a perfect one is to share with you how amazing of a car this is. It sounds spectacular. I think looks, sounds, and value you get with this car is unmatched right now in the exotic world of cars. They're under $100,000. They sound awesome with the AMG built V8. It's twin turbo, so it's over 500 horsepower from the factory with room to grow. The styling of Aston Martin is just spectacular, to where all that combined is going to make this a great first in my one and done series. So a big reason I traded both the other cars in instead of maximizing the values by selling them private party is the amount of time that takes. You've got to value your time and effort that it would take to maximize a few $1,000s in the trades versus what I could do with that time and what I could potentially make if I use that time more wisely. It obviously only matters if I spend the time doing what is a more valuable thing for me by growing my business KeySmart, or putting some marketing towards getting a couple new clients that I'm opening up slots for in my coaching business. Anytime that you make a choice to take less for something because of the time savings, you need to make sure that you are putting that time to good use to make the less money worthwhile long term, instead of just losing money and time. Because if you free up time but don't do anything with it, you're never going to maximize the results that time savings got you. It allows me to not put as many miles onto the 765 and drive it more selectively, so that I can keep the value of that maximized, and eventually when I do sell it, I will sell it at a top tier price because of the great spec it is, which will return more money to me, because like I keep saying, that car is like a savings account. So I have to use a little bit more common sense as far as keeping the values where I need them, so that I don't devalue them to a point that they are not the investment that I need them to be. So the plan for this is to have it for the minimum of a year and share the experience of upgrading something like this along the way. There'll be polls where I list the top 3 or 4 things that I have an idea for and let you guys vote on it, and then we'll pick whatever wins and move forward with it. I know I've done that on a couple other things, like even this car versus the McLaren GT. When I do it, the way I buy cars is the first thing I do is I go look at how they're holding their value. And unfortunately, the McLaren GT is still on the downward trend. It hasn't leveled out. So I didn't want to get into a car that immediately is going to lose more money. That's kind of what I did with the 720, and so I learned my lesson from that one. And because of that downward trend, I looked elsewhere, and this car seems to just be fluctuating at the price it's at. So there'll be wraps, there'll be wheels, be exhaust, a few other upgrades along the way once I track them down, like some body parts and some interior modifications. Everything will be interactive with you guys, the audience, because I don't say this enough. The fact that so many of you have subscribed and comment on my stuff truly means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it. And I don't want you to think it goes unnoticed. You'll see me building the Vantage. You'll see me still with the McLaren for the time being. It is listed for sale, but I have it listed at a higher dollar amount because I truly think that is what that car is worth. And I'm not in any rush to sell it, so I'm not willing to, entertain any lowball offers or anything that's not at the value that I think that car is worth. And so for the meantime, we're gonna put some miles on this, really enjoy it, get to do some stuff that I didn't get to do on the previous one I owned, and getting to kind of do a little more of an interactive thing versus me just talking to you all the time. That's what I like about YouTube, so I wanna make sure that what I upload is along the lines of what I watch. I really wanna not only share the experience of this stuff, but also how I got here and what I do to stay here, because those are two things that are not the same. A lot of people can get to a certain level. It takes a lot more effort to stay at that level. I really want to help everyone get to the level of what they're comfortable with, because what I want isn't what you want every time. So I want to help you get to whatever it is you want to get to. In my next video, we're going to go through a lot with how a locksmith can get and own the stuff I have, and just really break it down for you, as well as what it takes to stay here. So see you on that one soon.